What is up, everyone? 7-0 feels mighty good. Looks good on this team. Here we are, another post game after a win. Cardinals are the lone undefeated team, 7-0. We all know the score. And although it started out a little rough, super excited to see how this game ended. So we're going to do our post game, and I want to real quick say hey to the folks that are here. Thanks, Blueberry, for being here. For anyone who's wondering, I fixed the Discord link, so it should be able to work pretty much consistently. So if you haven't joined the Discord, there's a link in the description below. Please do that. We have a great group that is there every game day, news throughout the week. It's a good group. Classy Nasty, always one of the first people here with comments. Thank you for being here. Let's go. Cardinals 7-0, rise, Red Sea, be like water, we believe. Oh, that's me. Blueberry again. Let's see. Elite Flight Bird Gang, thanks for being here. Robert Abbott, Malcolm Butler pushing there right now. Yeah, he's maybe missing out, right? Hopefully whatever was going on that caused him to retire, hopefully he's doing okay. But yeah, he's missing out, right? Tapatio Man, what is up? Thanks for being here. Austin Harris, Go Cards, thank you for being here. Bass Stringer, yo, what's up, brother? 7-0, baby. Mark Jackson, another one of the guys who's part of the Discord. Thanks for being here, Mark. Enjoy hanging out with you on game days. Warbirds, there's been 39 7-0 teams. They all made the playoffs, and 17 of them made the Super Bowl. I like how that sounds. JP's here as always, too. Thanks for being here, JP. 7-0, what a game. What a game. The Ruby Pop-Tart, thanks for being here. 7-0 definitely feels really good. Oh, we got a hot take. Marcus Gold better than Chandler Jones. Well, I wouldn't go that far, but I'll tell you what, he's a better value where he takes up a lot less cap room. And I'm wearing my Golden jersey. Golden had a hell of a game with those 2 sacks, one that led to a fumble. So for sure, really he showed up. Love Marcus Gold. Love him. Couple more comments. So lost the game tickets, but my buddy might get the partners game and said, okay. That's a game I'm worried about as a trap game, but I don't know, the way they played today, maybe we shouldn't have worried about them. As an Arizona sports fan, waiting, I think that was a typo for something to go terribly, waiting for something terribly to go wrong, but in the meantime, I'll enjoy it. Yeah, there you go, corrected. Waiting for the other shoe to drop. But it hasn't, right, yet. So, the big thing, obviously, we have to worry about is staying healthy. So, while would like you to all go ahead and put any questions or comments. If it's a question, put a big Q in front of it. That always helps. But what are your takeaways from the game? Who impressed you? Do you have concerns coming out of the game? Just anything you want to talk about. This is your chat. So we'll kind of respond and kind of hit on your points. Want to say hey to Jeff Melton, who's here. Marcus Gold, more disciplined than Chandler Jones, gets results with less risk taken. Okay. He doesn't have the physical tools that Jones has, but man, he is tenacious, and he performs, and he loves being a Cardinal. So absolutely love him. So, and Mark, thank you for pointing that out. Everyone, please hit the like button. That really helps, with algorithms and things that help other people discover the channel. Thanks to you all for everything you've done to help the channel grow, and hitting like and commenting. All those things really kind of help with that. And real quick, while we're at it, I want to kind of take a minute to acknowledge some folks. Every week, I acknowledge the folks that are channel members, and I want to take a moment to thank the Ring of Honor folks. Mark Jackson, you see in the chat right now, Brendan Storr, Red Sea, Josh Shee, and then the folks who are starting lineup, Kemi Ndolo, Blueberry, who's here, Back to Constitution 1, King Plumtree, Lennon Wolf, Hossicle, Alpha Hills. Thank you all for supporting the channel. Greatly appreciate it. Means a lot to me. And if you'd like to support the channel, there's a link down below. But thank you all for being here. Let's talk about what your takeaways were. JP, Ertz looked good. Who do you think will get less targets? I hope not more. Yeah, I mean, Ertz looked really good. We didn't see a lot of Rondale Moore. In fact, in the Discord, they were asking, well, why is Eno Benjamin taking, some of those kick returns, and thought, well, maybe Moore's a big part of the game plan. And, he had a couple nice plays, but he wasn't huge part of the game plan. So, I think you're going to see what we've been seeing. It's going to be spread out. It's been spread out every week. And this week, if you look at it, like receptions, DeAndre Hopkins had 7. He had the most receptions, though some of them were short. He didn't lead in yards. He had 53 yards, but it was like 3 receptions, 7, 4, 2, 1. And that's what we're going to see. And I think what's going to happen is what's been happening. It's going to rotate. Hopkins will get his, and someone else will have may have a big game, but it's going to be spread out a lot, which again makes this offense that much better as far as I'm concerned. When teams can't stop just one guy, right? Let's see. I just bought a Buda Baker jersey. It was a toss up between him and Golden. Yeah, when I was picking a jersey, Baker was definitely one of them I considered, and can't go wrong there. He's such a stud, right? Where can I buy a Marcus Golden jersey? Also, I'm filled with a bit of dread going against Green Bay. They're always a tough team, but certain shows they usually come up short. I bought this on the team store. You should be able to order them online that way. That's where I got my Golden jersey. But yeah, Green Bay is a real test. It's a short week. Aaron Rodgers is a great player. I don't think they're necessarily the best team we've played thus far. I still think that's probably the Rams, but it's still a huge, huge test. So 100%. They're super prepared. I was only concerned about the O-line today. Ertz was awesome. Yeah, 100%, Victoria, and thank you for being here. Yeah, Ertz he just jumped right in. That really great 47-yard touchdown, was really awesome to seeing him, integrated in the offense that quickly. But you're right. The offensive line, the interior offensive line was the really big concern. Max Garcia with another bad snap. And if you watched it closely, Josh Jones really had a rough day playing at guard. He was a tackle coming out of the draft. I think he's better suited as a tackle. A couple of those really big hits and sacks, including the one that ended up being, a roughing the passer, but still where Kyler got clocked. A lot of those were on Josh Jones. He had a really rough day. And, this team is missing Rodney Hudson. So, yeah, 100%. If the O-line didn't have the interior offensive line had played better, or if we had Rodney Hudson healthy, I think this might have been like 45-3. So, that absolutely. Do I think we will trade Isabella before the deadline? That's a great question, because there's been word that they're looking to trade him, and there's been rumors that teams are even interested. I think if they can get something for him, they may very well do that. He's not, last couple years, even though he underperformed and disappointed or whatever descriptive you want to give to that, he at least saw the field, right? He got a couple hundred yards over the course of the season, a few receptions, but he hasn't been getting any of that. They've not brought him in, even with as deep as they run this receiving course. So I think there's a decent chance that they trade him. Probably, maybe if they trade him for a player or at a position, but draft capital perhaps. I wouldn't be shocked if they trade him. I didn't think they would. I thought they would hold on to him, as a depth player, but I'm increasingly thinking they might. I just didn't think his trade value would be high, and it may not be terribly high. But if the rumors are correct that teams are calling the Cardinals, that means there is a trade value that's more than I thought. So, yeah, I think there's a above average chance that they could trade him by the deadline. We'll see though, right? It was nice to see Eno, get some run, carrying the ball, and in return duties, he didn't, only had 2 rushes for 7 yards, but it's still nice to see him, right? Yeah, they need to pay Kirk when time comes. Him and Murray have something special. I thought Kirk would, I thought he would have a reduced role in this offense, and that he'd be a man who might be on his way out the door. But he's looked really good. He's had a few drops, but he's also had some really big plays. And moving him to the slot has worked wonders. Having him in the right position, in the right spot in the offense is, but that's been the story with the Cardinals for the last, for years, right? That they've been playing guys out of position. So yeah, it'd be nice to see him stick around. Arizona owns Aaron Rodgers. We've had a good run against them, right? So we'll see, right? You think against the Packers will be Isaiah's breakout game? Okay, that'd be interesting to see. He's been really good, but be nice to see him have a monster game. When Keim said this is the best team he's had since 2015, he ain't lying. Yeah, the results are suggesting that is definitely so, right? So I feel like this is the best Cardinals team I remember seeing in my time, and maybe it's recency biased, but I think it's been really good. Comment: I finally saw Cliff adjust offensively on the fly. Yeah, he did. He did some nice things to adjust, especially. We were talking about this in our Discord that we needed to see them when the first couple of series just really went poorly. It's like, okay, let's get some runs going, let's get a rhythm, and they did it, right? They ran the ball and kind of settled into a rhythm and adjusted. So that was really nice. If we stay healthy, there's no reason we I'm assuming you can't win a Super Bowl. Yeah, great offense and a defense that's looking really good. That is a recipe for a Super Bowl, championship team. So, all kinds of things happen. Games go sideways any given Sunday, all that stuff. But if you have an offense this good and a defense that can play this well, I like our chances as well as anyone, right? The Packers game is in Arizona. At least the Cardinals don't have to travel. That's true. That helps, right? Those long trips have sometimes caused issues. You feel like Arizona's always owned Aaron Rodgers in Arizona, regular season and playoffs. Yeah, there's been a lot of great games going back, for years, and there have been a lot of really great wins by the Cardinals with some really impressive plays. I remember one with I think it was a fumble recovery. I think Carlos Dansby was involved years and years ago, and the one with that Fitz had a couple of big catches. So yeah, there's been a really great history of games there for sure. Heck yeah, Mark Cliff called a few really awesome plays. Yeah, I was impressed. Yeah, including the DeAndre Hopkins touchdown. It was reminiscent of that Packers one of those Packers games with it looked a little bit like the pass to Fitzgerald that in a game a while. It was a little bit of a different throw, but that was really nice plays. Ertz runs faster than I thought he would. Yeah, he's a veteran, but that 47-yard touchdown was really nice. Real Ministry, thank you for being here. We have a lot of weapons, 100%. Who are you gonna cue in on, right? This offense has, obviously we've talked about Hopkins, AJ Green, who looks really good, Christian Kirk, Rondale Moore, and you add Zach Ertz, and then you've got Edmonds and Connor who've played well. It's really exciting to watch this offense. Question: do you see a win in the Green Bay game? I think so. Anything can happen. It's one of the toughest matches. It's going to be one of the biggest tests we have. But here's what I look at it. I don't think Green Bay's defense is good enough to stop our offense. But I think our defense is good enough to slow down the Packers offense. I don't think we'll shut down Aaron Rodgers. I'm a huge fan of Aaron Rodgers. But I think our defense is better than theirs, and I think our offense is better than theirs. So yeah, I like our chances. We'll see though, right? Rodgers takes a second for every State Farm commercial of his they have to watch during the game. Fair enough. Is Rodney Hudson out for the year, Victoria? My understanding is that he was not. I don't think he's out for the year. Obviously with the new IR rules that they've enacted in last couple of years, it's at least 3 games. I don't know if anyone. I know JP is in the chat often keeps up with the news. So if anyone has any recent updates, but my understanding is that that it's not season ending. I think it probably be those 3, the 3 games which he's already missed. This one. Um, and maybe I don't know. Maybe they'll keep him all longer those 3 games, but I haven't heard anything suggesting it's season ending. So again, if I'm wrong, someone let me know. So we definitely need him back, right? I mean, Max Garcia has struggled at least with the snaps. He hasn't been horrible in terms of the pass blocking. I think though again, Josh Jones really struggled there, and having Rodney Hudson there can really help with the whole interior offensive line. So let's see. We've got Robert Abbott. I think any trade at the moment is unlikely unless a player like maybe Devin Kennard is moved. Yeah, though I don't think they're going to move Devin Kennard because with Chandler Jones missing time off and on, missed yet another game, and hopefully he should be back next game. But he's with his injury history. I think they like having Devin Kennard available in case they need to play him across for Marcus Golden. So I don't see him moving Devin Kennard. I think they're going to keep him. He's proved useful. Again, I actually think that like Andy Isabella would be a guy they would consider potentially moving, but it depends on the offer though, right? So okay, we got one person. Rodney will be back in 2 weeks supposedly, so here's hoping, right? Hudson's out for 1 more week. That's what I'm hearing. Okay, like I said, it's a minimum 3 weeks. He missed last game and this game, I think. So we'll see what happens, right? But yeah, I don't think it'll be long term. I think if we beat Green Bay, the media is still going to say that we're good but not Super Bowl contenders. Maybe I will tell you though. I mean, I watch a lot of different things and check out who's saying what, and it's there are folks who are saying don't believe in the Cardinals, but there's a lot of people who are coming around and saying no, this team is legit, this team is a contender. But listen, everyone loves kind of playing the underdog, and and it's more the victories are more sweet when people don't believe in you. So we'll take that, but they're starting to come around, but they don't need to. We'll continue to enjoy playing that underdog role, right? So he will miss a Packers game, which I'm kind of scared. Yeah, you know, um, we'd love to have him back sooner rather than later, right? Well, this is actually the first NFL game that has 5. Yeah, I heard that too. So, so hopefully, hopefully that was accurate. I get. Well, it's an interesting factoid, if nothing else, I guess. Yeah, last time we played Rogers, we beat him. Josh Rosen got the head coach fired. Yeah, that was something like. And I mean, now in retrospect, you see just how rough that was, for them to lose to Josh Rosen. But I believe I know he won the backup job in Atlanta. I don't know if he's still with them, but I feel bad for Rosen. I mean, I'd like to see him kind of have a decent career. Nothing personal against him, but that was rough. Yeah. Didn't Green Bat have Brett Hundley starting Green Bay when we faced him last time? I don't know. I feel like it was Rodgers playing, but I could be wrong. Chris, my big yeah, I do the same thing, right? I hope we stop that golden in the turf. Okay. I like Aaron Rodgers, so I'm not gonna hate on him, but obviously I want our team to win though for sure. Deepest Cardinal team ever, maybe the best. I mean, I have a hard time arguing with that, right? So yeah. Question: how did McCoy do at the end of the game? I left where was it right? Put him in. I'll be honest. I was kind of not. I think it was just kneel downs and handoffs. He looks like he didn't have any passing statistics. So Colt McCoy 2 carries for -1 yard, which is the kneel down. So yeah, I was kind of only when they got into victory formation, I was only kind of half watching, preparing some things for some videos, but he did a heck of a job kneeling and on the victory formation. So way to go, Colt. Hopefully that's all we need him to do this year, right? Let's see. Do you know if Jair Alexander is playing? I haven't heard anything about him one way or the other. I mean, obviously he's a really great player, so I don't know. That's a good question. So I'm just kind of checking out their injury report right now to see what the word is on him. He's on the IR, was placed on injured reserve Saturday, could require season-ending entry to address. Okay, so Jair Alexander's out. Okay. So he looks like I wouldn't expect to see him. So that helps, right? That definitely makes it that much harder for them to stop us, right? Hearing Hudson can come back in week 10. Okay. So there we go. So, uh, I would prefer we don't get national hype. When we do, I feel like that's when we choke. Maybe, yeah. I mean, I do pay attention to what the national media says because I like to follow the stories and it's interesting. But I'm fine with them not believing, in the Cardinals, But yeah, for sure, let us fly under the radar, right? Keyshawn Johnson drives me nuts. Yeah, I'm not a fan of his takes, and it's not. I don't know. It's not just because he doesn't like the Cardinals. He's always been kind of a guy who likes to say provocative things. I like, my opinion is I group like analysts into one of two camps. There's probably more camps, but I think there's like analyst, and then there are people who I call hot take artists. Those are the folks like Shannon Sharp and what's his name on FS1. The folks who like to say provocative things, hot take artists, and that's not really my thing. I'm not really into that. And Keyshawn to me is a hot take artist kind of guy. So, whatever, right? Our QB is too short. Watt is too old. VJ is not a good coach. It goes on and on. Underdog is a good look for the guys. 100%, right? Let him keep doubting, right? David Johnson, his MVP, got his Hopkins and Mark Wilson. Oh, poor David Johnson. I feel bad. He's a good dude, but yeah. Or maybe Bill O'Brien, right? For those trades and everything, right? Is 17-0 possible? Thanks for the question, Hop Harry. Well, obviously it's possible, right? Is it probable? I think this team is. I'm still saying this team is going to end up 14-3. That's been my most recent prediction. Since they started out well and beat a couple teams, that's where I fell with them. I feel like just something's. Any given Sunday team, something happens. We've got some tough games still on the schedule, so I think it's going to be 14-3. But is it possible? Of course, 100% it's possible, right? And you're asking, well, okay, how likely is this team to do it? Well, here's what I would say is if you look at the ingredients that this team has going for them and the way they're playing, right? An offense that can beat you multiple ways, right? Where you can't just shut down one receiver or one running back. You've got so many guys that they can throw it to, right? A great quarterback. And then you have a defense that's really looking to, it's really coming into their own and looking like one of the better defenses in the league. Like that is a recipe that has as good of a chance as any to if you just describe that team to someone and didn't tell them it was the Cardinals and say, well, do you think this chance, what are the chances this team is one of the first team to go 17-0? Like, well, I'd like their chances as much as anyone, right? So yeah, felt bad when the announcers said David Johnson had to go to mental therapist after that trade because of, mental health is a real thing. It's important. I know some people take it lightly. Maybe I take it seriously because I'm married to a person who is a therapist and works in mental health. That's what my wife does. But I feel bad for the guy. I mean, he didn't, his play, wasn't as good as it was the one breakout year, and he struggled to be a fit in the offense. And running back sometimes lose the tread on their tires and injuries, but like he had this, there was this narrative about it being the most lopsided trade in the history of the NFL, arguably, or at least in recent years. And when you look at that, what that says is you're not good. You're bad enough that this is considered one of the worst trades ever. And yeah, I'm sure that did affect him. So I feel bad for the guy. He seemed like a good guy, doesn't deserve that, but hopefully he's doing better. Question: do you think we need to have a different approach when facing Green Bay offense? Is dialing up the pass rush going to backfire? So that's a good question because, certainly they have a quarterback who is a veteran who can beat you on that, right? So, I potentially, right? Maybe they need to be a little more judicious about how and when and where they bring the pass rush. You need to be a little more careful. But at the same time, you do have to bring pressure. That's how you beat good quarterbacks. And so, they might get burnt a little more for doing that. But at the same time, this team against bad teams has won 30 something to 14. So maybe this is just one of those games where we keep up what we're doing and we win, 37 to 28, right? So I think we need to keep the pressure, but I think we maybe need to, Vance Joseph will have to be a little more judicious about how and where he brings that. But he knows what he's doing, so I think he'll have a good game plan ready. So yeah. Sorry that my charts. Let me see the game before. Yeah, so in our Discord where we chat, Mark Jackson always seems to have a broadcast that's a little ahead of everyone else by maybe 15, 20 seconds. So Mark Jackson's always reporting in from the future. And while we're at it, I want to take this as an opportunity. A little kind of thing I'm going to be doing every week, which is the Discord comment of the game. This is also my way of encouraging everyone to join our Discord. We have a group that's in there every game day chatting, and then we have comments throughout the week. So I picked this as the Discord comment of the week. No quarterback is safe in AZ at the moment, not even our own. We were getting some pressure on obviously Davis Mills, but Kyler was getting hit a little bit this game. So that is the Discord comment of the day from our chat, courtesy of Perp, who's one of our regulars. Thanks for being there with us. So if you haven't joined the Discord, there is a link in the description, I believe, below. It's a really, it's a great way to keep in touch with, be part of the community. And game days in the Discord is always awesome. So yeah. And Mark Jackson with his TARDIS, like Doctor Who, coming from the future. Classy Nasty calling it 20-0. I like it. Green Bay versus Cards going to be fireworks. Yeah, I mean, this is, we don't usually get really good Thursday night games. Thursday night games will seem to be a lot of, kind of turd fests. And this is looking like going to be potentially a really good Thursday night game, right? One of the better games of the year so far. So really excited about that. If Murray gets hurt, how many games do we win? Oh, knock on wood. Here's hoping he doesn't, right? But like if that happened, right? And let's explore that as much as we don't like to, right? I think. Well, I'm just looking at the schedule. 1, 2, 3. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we could win at least of the remaining games. I think another 4 or 5 of them if we didn't, if there were an injury. Obviously, we hope that doesn't happen. But I think this team wins 10 to 11 games if that happened like this. Obviously, don't even like to talk about, don't want to speak it into existence, right? But that could happen, right? So here's hoping it doesn't. But I think this offense is really good. I think Colt McCoy is a solid backup quarterback who has experience starting the NFL. And when you give him this many weapons and, an offense, I think they'll keep the offense going and I think they'll do okay. Want to give you a huge shout out, John Paul. Thank you for becoming a member. JP, really reliable, always here, always commenting in the Discord. Very active part of the Cardinals community. Thank you for joining the channel membership. Really appreciate that. Let's see. Oh, and we got another member. Thank you, Simon. Thank you for joining in. Next time we do my next live stream, I will have you all both on my wall for my channel members. So thank you for that. I really appreciate that greatly. Let's see. So tangent on the hot take starters. Are there any good commenters as you follow? Recommend 100%. Mina Kimes is one of my favorites for starters. I think Mina Kimes is outstanding. I think her work is really, really good. There's locally though, like there's some folks I follow on Twitter that you might already follow. Like I think, Andy Kwong does really good stuff. I think Walter Mitchell, who I join on podcasts as a guest sometimes, does some really good stuff locally. There's a lot of the guys local that I like through a Revenge of the Bird and folks like that. But like nationally, I think Mina Kimes is really good. I like Bill Barnwell's stuff. I think he gets into the analysis and I know PFF's not real popular with some Cardinals fans, but there's some of the guys on there that I think do like Sam Monson. I think folks like that to do some good stuff. But I'm a huge Mina Kimes fan. That's the person I like to follow, and anyone who's kind of on her podcast. I forgot. Obviously, though, especially the guy on YouTube, Brett Coleman. Brett Coleman is the guy. That's he. He's does YouTube stuff. Hopefully, you're familiar with him. But Brett Coleman to me is. He seems like a good dude. He doesn't try to do hot takes. He gets into the film. He's not, he's not always right on all of his takes, and he'd be probably first to admit it, but he doesn't ever try to be like a hot take artist. So anyway, those are the folks I really like, though. Yeah. As of right now, which teams will make Super Bowl based on how they played so far? Well, I accept bold answers to no pressure. I mean, I'm gonna take the homer pick, right, and take the Cardinals in for the NFC just because. Why not? If it isn't the Cardinals, though, then to me it's Tampa Bay. Those to me are the two teams from the NFC. And from the AFC, if I had to pick, I'm going to say Baltimore right now, but I think it could easily be Buffalo too. Buffalo and Baltimore are my top two there. I think those are the two teams coming to the AFC that I'd be worried that I'd be looking at as Super Bowl contenders. In the NFC, it's Tampa Bay or Arizona to me. And I'm going to obviously pick our Cardinals, right? Yeah, you definitely don't take it like you feel bad. Yeah, he's 100%. Yep, completely agree, right? Just the Arizona Cardinals, yep. Washington had a real chance to beat the Packers if they could do anything in the red zone. Yeah, Washington's really struggled too. Their defense was supposed to be a strength of their team, and it has not been. So, yeah, I think the Packers are a good team. I think Aaron Rodgers is a great quarterback. When you look at their wins, they beat Washington 24-10. They beat the Bears 24-14, Bengals 25-22, Steelers 27. Like they don't have any they're like their biggest blowout win is a 35-17 win versus the Lions, and we know about the Lions. They're not a great team, so I don't look at them and say they have any impressive wins, right? And maybe and you look at the Cardinals blowing out the Browns, blowing out the Rams, right? Blowing out, and the bad teams, like a couple of the bad teams we played, we blew out Tennessee. So yeah, I think the Cardinals have a more impressive resume, right, than the Packers right now. So yeah, DJ does seem like a good dude. It's the only game I won't root for him. 100%. Yep, absolutely. Definitely need to get pressure on Barefoot Rodgers. Friendly trash. I like him too. That's fair. I'm all good with friendly trash talk. I just don't like mean. If it feels too real, then that's not cool. But friendly trash talk is good, right? Time for Cardinals to show the world why they need more primetime games. 100%, right? Yeah, definitely. Grimdark AC, thank you for being here. Appreciate you, and another regular part of the Discord. So, kind of feel like Thursday night might be a wild card game with Warner versus Roger back 2009. Yeah, it could be, right? It'd be interesting to see, right? Cheeseheads will fill the stadium, unfortunately. Yeah, there's a lot of Packers fans. They travel well, and I think there's a lot of Midwest kind of transplants in the Valley. So probably going to see that. Hudson does an excellent job protecting Murray. That's why we need him back for sure. For sure. Like McCoy's a backup to Murray. Yeah, I think so. I think he's a. Are you like? Yeah, you correct yourself. You like typos, right? Yeah, you like Mc. I think McCoy has been an underrated pickup. Really good veteran backup. A guy who I feel like if he had to come in and play a few games, we could, we could win some games with him. Watch these bandwagons fan come when we beat the Packers. I don't mind bandwagon fans as long as they don't, act like they've been that for a long time. But I don't know. I'm just I try not. I think I'm glad to have more fans, and if more people come to the team, that's come to be fans of the team. I'm good with that. Love and that's more people to join our Cardinals community and stuff. So, but yeah, I mean, if listen, nothing gets more fans like being a winning team, and this Cardinals team's an exciting team, and if they go on a run and if they keep competitive for years to come, and Kyler keeps playing like this team and franchise could really see a boost in popularity, right? And especially as the game's becoming more popular internationally, so maybe get more and more fans from across the globe. So I'm all for that. I get a lot of people who are subscribed to my channel, watch my videos, are from Germany and other places in Europe, and I love it. So anyway, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Mark Jackson welcoming our two new members of the channel. Thank you. Shadowheart MK. Me is a little bit biased towards. Yeah, I mean, she is, but she owns it. She owns it that she's a Seahawks fan, right? So she's not trying to pretend like she isn't. So I don't mind that. She's a little bit different kind of commentator to me. She's more like the podcaster kind of, and I like what she does, and she is a little biased towards that, but again, she doesn't try to pretend like she isn't, and she has fun with it though. A lot of the defense strength comes from the great tackling. It's nice to see. Yeah. They did a much better job this game too, especially they have struggled a little bit against the run with tackling, but overall they've done pretty good, right? Mini Combs is really good. She can be a Seahawks homer, but she knows her stuff. More analysis and hot takes. Yep, 100%. I'm with you, JP. Yep. Like you said, she has fun with that, but I really like her stuff for sure. Yeah, there you go. That's kind of where it brings more excitement to the community. We all had to start out as fans at some point, right? So let them join, let them jump on the wagon, and then, eventually be here for a while longer. All right. Tapatio, man. I mean, the Super Bowl was AZ versus Baltimore. I picked the Cardinals, especially how Baltimore lost the Bengals. So, yeah, Snowbird season in the Valley. Yeah. I'm not going to say your name, but do you think AC has a potential going to defeat that? Potential. We talked about earlier. Potential, yes. Will they? I don't think they will, but they've got the potential, right? Yep, there we go. You got receipts for your fanhood. Yeah. There you go, right? Let's see. Aqib Talib compared the run and gun Sunsesh, and I like that comparison with the Cardinals on fire. They're really fun to watch. Yeah, I mean Kyler Murray more than any quarterback I think plays like a Steve Nash point guard. I mean he runs all around, feels a little bit frenetic, the pace, but he's distributing that football really well like a point guard. So I mean it's been great to see. Mark Sanchez said that maybe it was Sanchez who did it. I think you're right, but yeah, it was Sanchez, but I don't mind the comparison, right? When is Hudson return? What's up, Arizona Emil? This was discussed a little earlier, and they said that they thought Mark Jackson said week 10 is what he heard, so I think that sounds about right. Hopefully he's ready to go by then, right? So yeah. So other questions or comments up from the game? Any takeaways that you had about the game, things you liked, didn't like. I obviously, you may have seen, I did my kind of 5 takeaways video that I post, after each game. I already posted that. And, some of my takeaways included some of the things we talked about, certainly concerns about, missing Rodney Hudson, but also, Marcus Golden having a great game. The team chewing the clock at the end of the game again was nice to see, right? All right, let's see. Tapatio. You're saying Murray's like Nash kind of scares me because he was good enough to win many finals, but something, yeah. Well, he isn't Steve Nash. He's a different person, different player. So I wouldn't. I can understand why they worry, but I wouldn't go too far with making that comparison. But he does play. He does something really amazing stuff. Kyler does with the ball. He's good passing. He can run when he needs to. He's distributing. To me, the fact that he is distributing the ball like so evenly across this offense and getting so many people involved that to me is a huge, huge plus because I did the video where I talked about why this team is different than last year's team. And last year it felt like they were feeding DeAndre Hopkins or throwing short bubble screens to receivers, or Kyler was having to run it, and they didn't have a lot beyond that. And this year there's just so many guys that are getting in the game, right? So really love what I'm seeing. Do you think the opposing team gives up on the run because our defense adjusts or because they fall behind or maybe something else? I think it's because they fall behind. In fact, I'm kind of one of the videos I hope to do at some point is looking a little bit more at our run defense, and I've started looking at some of the film, so hopefully there'll be something down the road on that. But we have our games where we do well against the run, right? Certainly the Tennessee game, but most of the time what you see is teams start running the ball well when the game's close. But as it goes on and the Cardinals get 2 and 3 scores ahead, teams have to give up the run on the run. And that's what we seem to see happen every week. I think this, but what I'm also looking, at least I was looking at I looked at all the runs in the Tennessee game that were over 5 yards. There weren't many of them, but I looked at them, and every single one of those runs where they got more than 5 yards, the Cardinals were in a nickel defense. So I'm wondering how much of it has to do with the fact that they're just playing a nickel defense and they're going to be okay with the fact that teams are going to run, they're going to shut down the pass, and they're going to get ahead, and they know teams are going to stop running. So I wonder how much of that is by design, right? They're just like, we're going to be okay with the fact that we're not going to be great against the run. We're going to let teams run a little bit, but we're going to score more than they do. We're going to shut them down in the passing game, or at least slow them down, and they're going to have to stop running. So as I get a little more into the film, I might have some more answers on that, but that's something I'm looking at. So yeah. Why do you think every time they call K1 keeper, it ends in a sack? Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I do think this year more of his runs are scrambles than they were last couple years, which means not design runs. Yeah, I'm not sure why. This is a good question. Maybe they're just, maybe they're just not doing as good of a job calling those plays. Maybe teams are just doing a better job kind of defending against that. I really don't know. But I'm glad he's running less though, right? Because that means he's passing more and better. But that's a good question. I don't have a firm answer on that. Thank God Green Bay has traveled to us. Yep, that helps, right? Question: if we go undefeated into the last game to the regular season, you see Kingsbury resting the Stars for the playoffs, right? That becomes a tough question, right? Because it's like, oh well, you have a chance to make history, and then you have a chance to rest your teams and keep up players and keep them healthy. So that's a really good question. I think if this team locks up like the bye, the playoff bye, the number 1 seed, like early, if some reason they pull off locking this up in week when they're at 15 games in, right, week 16, they might rest them the last couple weeks, and if they lose, they might. But if they go into week 17, if they don't lock up that till week 16 and it's week 17, and they've got this record staring them. I don't know. I could see them. They might rest a few guys, but I'd be surprised if, I don't know. That's a tough one, right? Because they would be the first team ever to go 17-0, like, because this is obviously the first 17-game season. So I think it'd be really hard. I think you might see a few players rested who are banged up, but I don't think you'll see healthy players sitting. But I could be wrong, right? You're coming in already, but the interior line got owned. You need to figure out as well, be a blue profile defense to replace in the future. Yeah, 100%. I mean, that was the biggest issue, right? And the way that offensive line played, we were playing against the Texans, not a good team, so we still blew them out. But playing like that against Aaron Donald, might end up with a very different outcome for the game. So I think I'd like to see them do some things like running the ball more on first and second down to kind of establish, get things going and kind of take some pressure off Kyler, because Too many third and longs, way too many third and longs in this game. And this is something we've been seeing. So 100%. They need to figure that out a little bit, at least, certainly till Hudson comes back, right? does this how winning feel like? Yeah. What is this winning that we're experiencing, right? It's nice, right? And if you're a Suns fan too, you started experiencing that last year. Of course, it ended poorly, so that's giving us something to be scared of. But it's definitely nice to see this team winning, right? Arizona Animal is not a Marco Wilson fan. Marco Wilson, aka can't get right, but didn't give up a TD today, so he's improving. Yeah, I mean he's given up a lot of TDs. Rookie, that's going to happen, but he had a decent game, right? Yeah, hopefully Chandler plays a Green Bay game. It'd be nice to have him back for that for sure. I'm going 35-24 against Packers. Our D is better than theirs. We have more weapons. We can shoot ourselves in the foot, so it'll be close. Yeah, that's kind of, I feel like that's the kind of game we're in for, Mark, right? And I think I would tend to agree. So we'll see, right? Perry, that game was shaped to concern there. Let's see, okay. Hot Perry game. Shape will be a concern there. He dropped. You're talking. Okay, I got you. Chandler Jones. They're saying lost 15 pounds due to COVID. So concerned about maybe. I see what you're saying. You're concerned about. Is he going to be in playing shape? How's he going to be? Is he going to be ready to play? Yeah. Oh yeah, for the run. Thanks, Shadowheart MK. Yeah, I'm not sure when I'll get that one out, but I've started preparing for it. So looking at the film and trying to kind of piece together how I'm going to look at that, but I'm going to try to figure out what I can about this run defense. So we'll see, right? Does Bill O'Brien get a Super Bowl ring if we win? Right, Jack? Yeah, maybe, right? He certainly gets a lot of shout outs from Cardinals fans, right? My sugar mama said she wants to take me to another home game before the season ends. Which one should I pick? That's a great question. So if you all have any ideas for that, I'm going to throw a couple kind of them out there. Let's see. Home games. Obviously the Packers is a good one. That's a home game. There's the Rams home game, right? To me, the best two home games. There's a Seattle late last week of the season might be interesting, but then you're running the risk if they're sitting anyone, then maybe it might not be a great game, right? It's short notice, but Packers to me would be the best one. But if not them, Rams, Colts could be interesting too, right? But yeah, that's kind of what I'd be looking at. Let's see, what is it about Amendola that pisses everyone off? Murph Doug got to be, yeah, that penalty, that fourth down, that taunting, right? Really could have been. Fortunately, the game still ended up ending the way we wanted it to, but that could have been it was a big deal at the time, right? So yeah, for sure. Who do you think the who's guy on the roster? I think there's changes stuff, but I don't know. Let's see. That's a tough one. I'll defer to anyone who might have an opinion on. Good question. Don't know, Monty. Let's see. 1972 Dolphins will be in Phoenix, sitting to the 50-yard line with their cheap box wine break for Cardinals. So yeah, they always break open the wine when the last undefeated team loses. So yeah, for sure. Thanks for your time and content. Your channel has become my favorite. Go Cards. Thank you, Austin. I appreciate the kind words. Appreciate you watching. It's like I always say, this has been a joy for me to be able to do this. So thank you all, and glad you enjoy it. Question. Should we kick out Josh Jones to right tackle and Garcia to right guard when Hudson is back? That offensive line was great against the Rams. So, so Kelvin Beachum is healthy, and he's playing right tackle again. So, Josh Jones might, unless I'm missing something, but Beachum is back and healthy, I believe. So, if Garcia is going to right guard, then Josh Jones is going to the bench. But that it may be right, because I think Josh Jones is much better I think Josh Jones is much better suited to being a tackle. So maybe what we do is when Hudson's back, obviously we'll see because players get injured, so who knows, right? Who's healthy then? But if everyone is healthy when Hudson gets back, I wouldn't be opposed to seeing how Garcia plays. At right guard, put Josh Jones back on the bench for now. I think he's got a future as one of our tackles, but he struggled this game. But if Justin Murray is healthy, he might be a guy they look to put back in there too. Garcia had some experience starting in Denver. He's not, he's not like a Pro Bowl or anything by that stretch of the imagination. Any stretch of the imagination, he's more of a depth rotation guy. But I feel like aside from the snaps, he hasn't been bad, right? Let's see. Thanks for being here, Austin. Appreciate you. Hot tickets to the Panthers game. You've got tickets to the Panthers game. That's going to be an interesting one, right? Yeah. Would you like to trade for Kyle Fuller? The answer is it depends what you're giving up. I don't want to give up really a lot of. If we can give up a day 3 pick, I don't think they'll take that for him. Or if you can give up Andy Isabella, I just don't want to, give up day 1 or 2 draft picks, right? First, second, third rounders don't really. I like this roster. I like, especially now that they've got Ertz. I'm just not, if they can get him for a late round pick, I'd be fine for it, right? Sheba for jersey sponsor. I'm not sure what you're asking or saying there, but if someone wants to sponsor me for a jersey, I'm interested in that. But I'm not sure. Best game runs versus Cardinals. Who will Ramsey defend? Right? Yeah, he'll probably defend Nuke, Hopkins, and right. We'll throw it all around, right? Let's see. Got to set the franchise best record Thursday versus the hippie from Green Bay. Right. Capitio man says Murray's the cutest in the roster. He's like a little baby Yoda. Okay, or little baby or baby Yoda. There you go. Josh Jones didn't play well this game. I'd like to see Sean Harlow. And that's another guy I'd be curious to see. He's a former 4th round pick. He played well in the preseason. He's played well in limited snaps. Be interesting to see what he can do at guard. So I wouldn't hate that either. Yeah. Let's see, guys. I need help. I can't sell my Scientology courses. Well, Zach, my suggestion to you is don't. So yeah, it's impossible. You get lost in their beautiful eyes. I'm guessing you're talking. It might have been responding to something like that. Okay. So there you go. All right. Danny Sarek is the cutest on the Arizona team. Okay. There you go. All right. Yes, just say no, right? Yeah. Thanks, Jose. Thanks for being here. All right. Mark Jackson, I said out. Thank you, Mark. Appreciate your support. Appreciate that very much. Have a safe trip wherever you're heading out to, good sir. All right. We've gone about 52 minutes. Are there any other questions before we kind of, it's a victory, which is nice. Well, obviously, always good to see Cardinals with the win, 7-0, taking care of business against a team we were supposed to win. A lot of people were saying trap game. The way the first quarter was looking, we were worried it was a trap game, but they came through, right? So we'll take maybe the last couple questions or comments, and we'll probably wrap up shortly. Let's see. I feel Josh Jones. I feel Jones plays a lot better at offensive tackle as well. Yeah, I do think he's a better run blocker than Beachum, though. Yeah, Beacham's a better pass blocker than run blocker, so that's true. I think Jones has a future as our starting right tackle. Beacham's an older, he's a veteran. He's in his 30s. He's on a really good contract. He's played well, but at some point, I think Josh Jones is going to be the future there for sure. Yeah. Arizona Cardinals are going to beat the commodity cheese heads. Okay, yeah, could be. Yeah, I hope so. I think so, though. I think we've got a decent chance. You think Cardinals get overconfident in the first 3 plays? Seemed like no place for running backs. I don't think it was overconfidence. I don't think this team is going to. I think this team has too many veterans to get believe their own press clippings. They've really bought into the 1-0 mentality. That first quarter was the interior offensive line. The Max Garcia snap, that was a bad snap. the sacks and the pressures on Kyler Murray, like the defensive line was just getting through past Josh Jones. Like those first two drives, like the offense didn't even have a chance to get anything done because they were in like these third and long. So I don't think that's what it was. It would have been nice to see them run the ball. In fact, in the Discord, a couple of us were commenting, hey, we'd like to see them run the ball, find a rhythm, and they did that, right? So that they certainly did. They made those adjustments, but I don't think it was overconfidence. I really just think it was bad play by the interior offensive line that prevented the offense from getting going. You can't do much if you don't have time to get the ball out. So and have a bad snap, right? Was Rondale Moore in witness relocation this game only 17 yards? Yeah, no, but I will tell you those 17 yards included a really nice play. I mean, Rondale Moore, really would like to see more from him, but he had that 16-yard kind of screen pass that he made some guys miss. It was a really nice play, but would have liked to see more of him. But it's going to be that way this year, I think, for the Cardinals, right? There's going to be guys are going to have on games and off games. We're just going to have to get used to that, right? Be safe. See you Thursday against the Cheeseheads. Thank you. Last question. Favorite cereal? Probably Honey Nut Cheerios. That's probably it. Shadow Heart MK. Thank you. I appreciate the kind words. Thank you. I always appreciate the positive feedback. It means a lot. Thank you. Do you think Zach Ertz will keep playing at this level for the rest of the season if healthy? Yeah, I think he will. I mean, I think he won't. I don't think he'll have 66 yards and a touchdown every game. I think it's going to be like the rest of the receivers. He'll have a game where he's more, where he's open more, and then other games he's a little quieter. But I think he's gonna, if he's healthy, this is the kinds of stuff I think we'll see from him. Right? Absolutely. Running the ball early will settle that O-line down. I don't like this pass. Know how to, this will, I mean, and offensive linemen like run blocking more than like pass blocking, because when you're run blocking, you get to be kind of on the offensive and as an offensive lineman, right? You're pulling as a guard, or you're trying to redirect. You're controlling the line, right? You're trying to impose your will. Whereas when you're pass blocking, you're just trying to kind of stand back and keep guys from getting by you. So offensive linemen, I think, like to run block better because they get to be more assertive and control the situation. And I think if you run early and help them settle in, I think that would be. I like that, right? So I agree. Yeah. Thank you, Class Nasty. Appreciate you being here. Peace. The Ruby Pop-Tart. Thoughts on DK and Shanshar beef? I haven't really. I heard there was some is it DK Metcalf? There was something, I guess, between them. Oh, maybe he was comparing himself to Shannon Sharp. Is that what it was? I haven't really followed that. I don't know. I don't have really a whole lot of thoughts. I'm not really big on people who are a little too busy boasting about themselves. So DK is a great talented receiver. He's still got it, but he's still young. Shannon Sharp's an all-time great. Talker's going to talk, right? So I don't know I don't have a strong opinion of that I guess. Murray threw for 250 yards despite not having any yards in the first quarter. So it's a win for me. Yeah. And, he had that interception, right? 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, but that was his first interception since week 3, right? It's since the Jaguars game. So he's, and even at that, I saw, I've seen some reports that Zach Ertz talked about how it was a miscommunication. That was Zach Ertz kind of did a mea culpa, saying that he was the one who, ran the wrong route, which that would make sense. He's, just arrived with the team. So that would make sense. So, Kyler's done a much better job protecting the ball this year. So really, really nice to see that. And he had, I'd say overall, a pretty good game, right? I think Cliff being out this week on the field for practice, he was out of sorts. Hopefully he's more in it this week since he'll be in the facility. Yeah, hopefully, right? And they still played well, right? Serious question, Professor. Can you play us a tune, Jose? People ask that from time to time. I'm not going to play you a tune right now. I think I said when I got to 3,000 subscribers, I might play 3 chords. So maybe that's what we'll do. But for now, not right now, but thanks for asking again. I look like a Count Chocula kind of guy. Okay, I do like Count Chocula, but I actually like Cocoa Pebbles better. But Honey Nut Cheerios. So, though I don't eat cereal very often, actually, but when I do, right? Cardinals Nation rise up, baby, 100%, right? We need to do a better job on the penalties with the offense line, 100%. That's still kind of an area of weakness for the team. We've cleaned up our pass interference penalties. I've talked about that a few times. That was a big problem last year, has not been a problem so much this year. But the false starts, that's the thing that's really killing us and continues to kill us. And really like to see that get cleaned up for sure, 100%. Want to see Andy's ability to get some plays too. Yeah, we haven't seen him, and I don't know that we're going to. I mean, we talked about this earlier. There's rumors that he's on the trading block. Yeah, he'll probably get more plays in another uniform. I think that unfortunately might be true, right? Any truth to whispers about Chandler Jones being traded? I haven't heard anything about that. I don't think. I don't know. I mean, maybe because, but I mean, they've done a good job rushing the passer without him. I still think they're going to hold on to him, and I don't know if at this point I don't know if they're going to re-sign him because he had that really big game. And I came out and said time to pay the man, and now you look at it, he hasn't really had a sack since. He's been out. I know it's COVID and that's tough, but like this team can, this Vance Joseph can dial up blitzes. They've got pass rushers who can do the job, who are cheaper. So I don't know. I mean, I think they're trying to make a run, so I don't think they're going to trade him. I think they're going to hold on to him under the idea that he's a good player, and he may, if you keep him on your roster, 3 weeks from now, 7 weeks from now in the playoffs, he might make a difference. Even if he's still struggling, if he's struggling to see the field, at some point he could make a difference on a championship run. But the question of whether they re-sign him to me is now the bigger question, right? Yeah, Chandler goes to know where right, yeah. So why would you let JJ Watt why would we get JJ Watt to let Chandler Jones? I mean, again, I think I'm now wondering if they're going to re-sign him or they might just try to talk him down, price down with if he doesn't have a great season, maybe his price tag goes down and then they bring him back. I don't know, but yeah, there's a lot of question marks there, right? Chris, thanks for being here. Always appreciate you being here. No worries. Regular commenter on videos and regular person here in the chat. So appreciate you for sure. Thompson, number 34, is a menace. Yeah, he has been really, really good. Jalen Thompson, I think he's an underrated player. 100%. He has been he's been a really valuable part of this team, and he does a great job. So 100%. Let's see. Sorry. Going to do. All right. I'm going to, I am going to do something. Let's see. One of the things I do sometimes is for channel members, I do kind of open up the phone lines. I just sent a message for channel members. If you want to jump on and share something, if you're a channel member, if you go to the community tab, there is a link I just posted for StreamYard. So we'll hang out for a few more minutes if I get any channel members who want to jump on. But yeah, Thompson is really good. Yeah. They will be okay, just get past the Packers. Yeah. Chandler Jones will probably ball it again. His return, he's probably hungry. Here's hoping at least. Yeah, I mean, he's going to have some games for him if as long as he's healthy, for sure. We're keeping. If you're a real Cardinals fan, you shouldn't even speak. Well, the Don CJ. The tough part though with that is the salary cap thing. And I actually, maybe you might say I'm not a Cardinals fan. I've gone back and forth on it, because this team, because they can get pass rush with Vance Joseph's done such a good job generating pass rush, and they have pass rushers who aren't as expensive. The question is we're going to have to sign Kyler Murray an extension soon. there's a lot of things going on where it's like, yeah, I'd love to have Chandler Jones, but the question is there might be some players who we have to give up, in order to keep him. So that gets a little bit tricky. So it's yeah, but yeah, Chandler Jones, you need to get a ring. I mean, but I think we should keep him this year. The question is maybe about re-signing him. That's maybe where I have a question. Where Larry Fields become the new Suns owner once they take. Oh man, I'll tell you what that I don't know if there's the report where I don't know if the report's been made public yet. I mean, he's got an ownership stake in it, right? So we'll see what happens, right? Oh man, Chandler Jackson, that's your brother. Is Chandler Jones your brother? I don't know. What is up, Cattle Dog? On to Pack. Yeah, thanks for being here, Cattle Dog. Yeah, on to the Packers. So 7-0 on to the Packers. Yeah, we all hope he's back. We really need him, right? Shout out to Marcus Golden. Love that guy. I'm wearing my Marcus Golden jersey. The dude had a hell of a game. Those 2 sacks, including one that forced a fumble. Yeah, man. I've said this over and over again. No one loves being a Cardinal more than Marcus Golden. That's one of the reasons I got his jersey. I love rooting for that guy, right? 100%. Chris has a question. How many times do you think our team is going to hit Aaron Rodgers? How many turnovers? Good question. I think we're going to hit him 3 times. I think we'll hit him 4 times. 2 of them will be sacks, and I think there'll be 1 turnover. That's what I'm going to pick. We'll see, right? Let's see. Cardinals 7-0. Let's go Cardinals. Be safe. Cardinals rule. Yes. Byron Murphy Jr. has stepped up. He's had a huge season. He has really elevated his game, become a really good starting cornerback in this league. He had that one rough penalty today, and that was bad. But, yeah, he has been – I mean, he's part of the reason, right, that he is part of the reason that this team has been as good as they have been at the cornerback position, right? That was a concern coming in. But he's played well, and this secondary has overall played well. So 100%. Yeah, Chandler's kind of pricey, as good as he was. Age and consistency matter for the future of the team more than keeping someone I respect. It's going to be tough. Again, you got the salary cap makes it tough, right? 49ers are losing 23-18. Oh, good. Okay. Yay. Sorry. But yeah, sorry to any Niners fans. Sorry, not sorry. Yeah, it's there. I know some good folks that are Niners fans, but also some that are a little kind of troll-like. So, and obviously, just in a general sense for our division, any loss by a division opponent helps us, right? So, yeah, for sure. Sly, would you trade Chan for first-round pick and a good offensive? Yeah, I mean, if we were getting offered a good offensive lineman and a first-round pick, yeah, I don't think that. I mean, that'd be a heck of an offer. I don't think we're going to get that. We would get that for him right now. But if someone wanted to give us then I would, right? Yeah. Davis Mills, homeless man, Jimmy G, dude can only process 1 read. Maybe, he's a rookie. Was he a 4th-round pick? Yeah, he struggled. So maybe, right? And they didn't, he's forced into starting under less than ideal circumstances, right? Yeah. You're from St. Louis. Marcus had to get a ring. Okay. Marcus has to get a ring. Yeah. Want to see Marcus go and get a ring for sure. If we get rid of Chandler Jones, how do we know J.J. Watt's going to come back? J.J. Watt is here not just because of Chandler Jones. I mean, he's liking playing next to Chandler Jones, but he's here to compete and win, right? And I think Nuke Hopkins is as much of a reason. And I mean, the way this team's playing, I think that's enough reason, right? He's come to a team that a lot of people questioned that he was, his decision, and he's showing them all. And if we keep winning, I think he'll go be back. But yeah, sorry, Niners. Right. Stop questions. Let the man get some sleep. Oh man, yeah. Right. Well, I didn't have anyone jump in, any channel members, and I think we've run the course on questions, so I think might be a good time to go and call it a night then. Yeah, and Jones to solely Steve Kime has to keep them together. I mean, Chandler Jones though, hasn't been playing elite though, so I mean, I don't think they're going to trade him, but I'm not sure that they're going to. Here's what I think is going to happen at this point, right? I think what's going to happen at this point is they're going to keep him for the rest of the season. They're going to let it play out, and when the season's over, if they think they can negotiate him, an extension that isn't as expensive as he was asking for, like if he has a down year with like 8 sacks or 10, for him 10 sacks is a down year, but and he's only at 5 and has if they can get him on a better deal, they might bring him back, but I don't think they're going to pay a lot of money for him. So, yeah, I know, right? You said you were leaving 30 minutes ago. I was, but then the chat picked up, right? But we might go soon. What a game, King Plumshy. Yes, and thank you for being here, one of the channel members. Thank you. Like your show, keep up good work. Thank you. I appreciate that 100%. Thank you. Do you see us becoming a team that veterans will look to sign with in the offseason, ring chasing, so to speak, based on how the season's gone? Potentially, right? I mean, potentially. That's the way it's starting to look, right? Or the way this team is playing. I mean, clearly this is, yeah. Obviously, that's what Tampa Bay has become. And, I mean, if this team goes deep into the playoffs, yeah, I think team players will consider that, right? Is Mr. Schwartz still in free agency if the surgeries he had? I'd probably sign 1 year. Maybe. I don't know. I haven't really checked up on Schwartz, so I don't know what's going on with him. Remember, Bill Belichick made the mistake when he traded him to us. Yeah. We'll see. To me, again, my general philosophy, what I like to see with pass rush is I say this all the time, what Baltimore does. They draft guys in the middle rounds, develop them, but they have a steady pipeline of them. And but they don't overpay them because that way they can spend their money elsewhere. So I don't know. There's a lot of different opinions about that, but yeah. Can Larry come back right before playoffs? He could. I mean, technically he can. He can re-sign at any point, right? He can for sure. Thank you, JP. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. Marco Wilson's been playing great. He's Marco Wilson, for a rookie who's a 4th rounder. He's been playing well. He's been up and down, but I mean, he's played. Yeah, I think he's played well overall, considering as a 4th round pick. But yeah, number one play of the game today. The number one play of the game today to me was actually probably that AJ Green. Well, no, it's Zach Ertz, the 47-yard touchdown. But that AJ Green catch was also up there too to convert that 3rd and long. But probably it's close between those two. But probably go with the Ertz touchdown. But I mean, there were a lot of good plays, right? You need more open text. When is your next show? More open. You need more open text. When is your next show? I'm not sure what you mean by more open text, but my next show is I usually do one Monday nights with the AZ Sports Fan. We do one on my channel every Monday night. So tomorrow night, and then probably do a post game after the game Thursday. Yeah, what a debut for Zach Ertz, right? 100%. Can we talk about? No, we're not going to trade David Collins. He's a part of the future. I see what you're doing there, though. So yeah. What do we have to be most worried about with the Packers? Thanks, Sean, for the question. I think what we have the most to be worried about with the Packers is, is Aaron Rodgers, because he's so freaking good. And also, I mean, they have a good running game. So, Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, that running game's our biggest weakness. So I think for the biggest concern maybe is that they have a game plan where they run the ball on us and keep it consistent. Okay, let me take a step back. What our team has done well is even when teams run against us, we start to get ahead of them. We get a couple scores ahead and they have to give up the run. Um, you know, but they're so then they stop running. But if Green Bay with the combination of their good running backs keeps it close, and then Aaron Rodgers, because he's a great quarterback, keeps them in the game to where they're not down 2 or 3 scores and it's close, they can then continue to run us on us, if that makes sense, and then they can keep it close. So it's it's the fact that maybe they have, you know, I mean, it's a little bit like what happened with Minnesota, except Rodgers is a better quarterback than Kirk Cousins, right? So if they can have that combination of run and pass that keeps the game close, then they can keep running on us, and all of a sudden we can't kind of pull out ahead. So to me, that's probably what I'd be most concerned with. Can't wait to get off work at 10, put my Hopkins jersey on, right? 100%. Zaven's playing well. He hasn't, he's played limited snaps thus far, but they do that with rookies. But man, he's graded well. He's played well for sure. Cliff is a rare coach who actually is better than NFL and college. Like the whole thing with Cliff in college, people have talked about his losing record, but he coached for Texas Tech. And there, in Texas, I mean, I lived in Texas for 5 years when I was in grad school. And, you've got University of Texas, you've got Texas A&M, you even have like TCU. There's good college football there. And then Texas Tech is trying to compete for recruits. But they're also they always had a good offense. Their problem was their defense, right? So the thing that he's good at, he always did, right? So I think he gets a little bit of a bad rap. He's a really good offensive coach who couldn't get the recruits on defense. That's my take. But yeah, we got a super chat. Free matter for the line. Thank you so much. Not sure if you talked about it, but D-Hop's touchdown play was brilliantly drawn up and executed even better. Thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the support. We talked about it briefly. Love the little pass. And we did talk about in general how Cliff did a good job, in this game in terms of coaching and scheming, and it feels like he made some adjustments, and that was it reminded me, I talked about this earlier, it reminded me a little bit of that shovel pass to Larry Fitzgerald. And I think it was a great game against Green Bay a few years, a little bit back, but yeah, that was really nice. They were doing some misdirection and they thought it was going somewhere else, and right there, so easy touchdown. Thank you for the super chat. Really appreciate that. Really great play, 100%. And of course, thank you. So yeah, so much for ending in 5 minutes. But no, this is good. You've got some good questions and comments, so I appreciate that. Let's see. Some more conversation about some of our players. We'll kind of talking about Zaven. Yeah. Look at Buddha and Brian. They took some time to develop. Yeah. Okay. I'll have to check out that play. Pittman Jr. So all four 49ers falling behind. So there we go. Nice. Okay, that's a good one too. Listen, that's a great Marcus Golden strip sack and recovery. I can't argue with that. Yep, 100% great play. 100%. Love that play. Cardinals have to win Super Bowl at this point. I know it's a long season, but the talent where we all thought there was none. AZ win them all. Kyler time legendary guard. He got the for some reason I guess those the actually they probably showed up in I think in StreamYard. I don't see the icons or the emojis, but hopefully they show up there. But yes, Cardinals, man, love to see the way they're playing. Could this be our year, right? You're not scared of the Packers running on us. Hey, fair enough. I hope they aren't able to. They've got some good running backs, and running defenses has been our weakness. But if we can get ahead, they're going to have to abandon that, right? The Packers only have one. They have a heck of a receiving threat, but yeah, he targets Devontae Adams at a ridiculous rate. They don't really target other guys, right? So, for sure, right? Can we give field passes and jerseys to Aaron Rodgers' family on the Green Bay side during the game? I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. Packers are overrated. I like the Packers. I like Aaron Rodgers, but we talked about it earlier. Their wins, I don't think their wins are as impressive as the Cardinals wins, for example, when you look at the teams they're playing, right? So yeah. Let's hope the Cardinals find a way to own Green Bay again, right? Like they have in the past. Let's see. Oh, got another super chat from. Thank you again, Free Matter Football. I appreciate that. Roger said that Washington football team is really good. Wait till he gets a load of us. Yeah, I mean, Washington football team have a lot of first rounders on their defensive line is really one of the talent wise is one of the best in the league, which is why it's been surprising that their defense has struggled this year. But yeah, wait till he gets a load of us, right? JJ Watt, hopefully Chandler Jones is there, and Marcus Golden, and coaching staff that's not afraid to use them. So hopefully we'll give them fits, right? So thank you for the super chat, Free Matter for Land. I appreciate that greatly. Thank you. Yep. We have to outscore Packers will win. Okay. Mike Leach won big at Texas. Yeah, Mike Leach is he's an all-time great college coach for sure. Yep. So yeah. Kingsbury, I think Kingsbury's a good offensive coach. I think he's still learning. I think he's doing some good things. So, yeah. Love that you just got me my Cliff video clip. I have seen that. That is hilarious. I have seen that. You just got beat by Cliff Kingsbury, and then that's pretty freaking awesome. I have seen that. I love it. Yeah. It's going to be a shootout, the best Thursday night game of the year. Yes, indeed. Hello from Houston. Good game. Hey, Spartan, thanks for being here. Listen, I always appreciate when folks from the opposing team come in and say hi. And I try to be really. I definitely try to run a kind of a respectful channel where we're so certainly I know you all are in a tough spot, and I've often said I actually really feel bad for Houston fans because of with what's going on in terms of the roster needs a lot of work, and unfortunately Bill O'Brien left you in a bad spot with your draft picks and stuff. But thank you for being here. Appreciate you. I hope your team has a good rebuild, and I'm not saying that to be a troll, but thank you for being here. I always appreciate when people come in, and especially you come in and congratulate our team. I think that's classy of you. So thank you for being here, Spartan. Appreciate that. Best start in the franchise history on prime time against the Packers at home. This is going to be nuts. Yeah, I mean, this is going to be a huge game. Really looking forward to watching this game Thursday night for sure. Packers going to get clapped. We'll see. Yeah. Is Chandler back for Green Bay? Hopefully. I mean, it was the COVID thing, and as far as I understand, he's vaccinated because they said that the team was at 100% vaccination. So the fact that he wasn't back this game was a little bit surprising. But I would think, having not a whole other week, I guess it's a Thursday game, but here's hoping, right? We'll see though. I don't think it's official that we've heard anything, but with another 4 days to go, he's got to get he needs 2 negative tests that are at least 24 hours apart. So, hopefully that'll happen, but we don't know yet, right? Yeah. Yep. Someone else commented that. Yeah. Thank you for being here, Ruby Pop-Tart. Appreciate you. I hope he locks down Adams, but Adams is, and thank you for being here, Keenan. Appreciate you being here. Byron's turning out to be a really good cornerback, but Adams is people list him as with DeAndre Hopkins and maybe 1 or 2 other guys as the best receivers in the league. So that's a lot to ask of them, but hopefully they can do it right. I feel like Cliff will want to have longer drawn out drives to keep the ball out of Rodgers' hands. I could see that, and that would be that would definitely be nice to see that, right? Yeah. What are the biggest concerns? Okay, so I think you asked that, and I think I discussed that earlier. We'll see you tomorrow night. Yep, thank you. See you tomorrow night. Just me who does Doberman shine all the time. Talking about Junkyard, right? You're talking about Max Golden, I think, or Marcus Golden. I'm sorry, is that who you're talking about? You're saying, okay, I thought you were, because they call him Junkyard Dog. Oh, Dogby. Dogby doesn't play a lot, but when he does, he plays well. Michael Dogby. Yeah. No, he doesn't play a lot, but he does a good job when he plays. So yeah, for sure. Does anyone know why Texans aren't playing Watson? I know about the allegations, but he's also in the trade rumors. Why would you play him after the trade, but not before? I think they've decided that they're going to move on from him. So they just I think what they're doing is that they're just keeping him. They want the distraction as far away as possible. So I don't think he's probably not in the building. He's probably staying at home. So I think they just know they're going to trade him at some point, and they're just, rather than building if you play him, that makes it harder to trade him. So I think they're just doing that in preparation for trading him, because yeah. Wolf, thank you for being here. Wolfling is a regular part of our chat. Appreciate it. Spit a booth by Houston player. Zach Kyler was nice. Yeah, they did a good job, and our offensive line struggled, right? I think we already talked about this. Hopefully he'll be back, but we don't know yet. Let's see. Our best host, keep up good work. Thank you. Appreciate you. Gardic, he's got the long hair, plays with a fire in his belly. You love, fan favorite. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that are reminiscent, right? They play a little bit different position, but they both play, with a lot of heart, right? Is Kyler playing better than Rodgers? I think so. I mean, Rodgers, let me look at his numbers. I mean, Rodgers has been really good. Yeah, I mean, I think he is. He's got fewer interceptions than Kyler does, but just kind of comparing. I mean, it's maybe it's not too far off, but I think Kyler's playing better. Yeah, in my opinion, at least. He's got more touchdowns, more yards, fewer interceptions, but not by a lot. But I think he's playing better, and I think what he's doing for the offense, yeah. But I mean, Rodgers is a hell of a player. Don't get me wrong, though. Should we trade Isabella before the deadline or not? Thank you, Caleb, for the question. I mean, if we can get something decent for him, I think so. I think he's right now kind of our fifth receiver. I think we've got so much depth. You can get guys off the practice squad to bring up if you need to. There's guys out there, and if you can get a pick for him and he's not in your future, I'd say yeah. Thank you. Appreciate you. You guys are the best. Thank you. We should wear our color rush uniforms. I mean, we'll see if they do, right? Sometimes they do, right? On Thursdays. Hope we're not shopping in spell. We need him in case Morgan's. Yeah, I mean, though, do we still have Greg Dortch on the practice squad? Because he played pretty well in the preseason. I know he's not Andy Isabella necessarily, but we'll see. I mean, we'll see, right? Yeah. All right. Let's see. I think we'll bet we were all black. I mean, they've been wearing those black jerseys a few times, and a lot of people I know don't really love them, but yeah. All right. I do think I am going to go ahead and say let's end this. We've gone almost an hour and a half. A lot of great questions, comments. I really appreciate everyone being here. Once again, if you haven't joined the Discord, the link's down below. I fixed it so the link won't expire, so it should be good permanently moving forward. So we have a great chat that comes in during the game. Get this last question. How do you like Zach Ertz? I thought he did pretty darn well. He's a great, love it. I mean, he had a couple nice catches, including, obviously the touchdown. So I loved what we saw from him, and we're going to see more from him. So 100%. So 100%. Leonard went to the game. Hey, Leonard, thanks for being here. Went to the game. You do some against Green Bay, 100%. See you, Bird Gang. Yeah, go Cards. See you, Bird Gang. Glenn Wolf, thanks for being here. So before we head out, I'm just going to one last time thank my channel members. I throw a shout out to my channel members as I do every live stream. And thank you all for being here. What time you on tomorrow night? We go 7 o'clock Arizona time. Same. Yep. So I'll get a link up for that at some point. But yep, 7 o'clock Arizona time. with Mike, the AZ Sports Fan. Thank you, Blueberry. Thank you for being here. We've got a huge game next week. Let's get it. Yep. Let's go 8-0. I love it. Looking forward to this game. I think Thursday is going to be a great game. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Appreciate you all. It's always great hanging out with you guys in the Discord. It's great hanging out with you guys in the chat. And we will see you guys next time.